All right, looks like we have everybody. So why don't we get started? Welcome to the November Green Chemistry Connections. It's really great to see all your faces. And we have a really, really exciting lineup of speakers today. So without further ado, I will quickly pass it off to Natalie to introduce herself.
Hi all, good to see you again. Welcome if this is the first time you're joining us. I'm Natalie O'Neill, the Director of Higher Education. I'm happy to have my team here, and I'm going to pass it back over to Nim to introduce herself formally, but also our newest team member, Juliana Vidal, is now our Program Manager for Higher Education. So if you've joined us before, you have heard Juliana, but now she'll be taking on a larger role to save you from this voice today, but to help our team grow over the coming year. So it's great to see you all. I love to connect with you in the chat, know where you're joining us today, and I'll turn it back over to my amazing higher ed team. So take it away, Nim and Juliana.
So hi, everybody. My name is Nim. I am a program manager for higher education. If you haven't met me before, I'm excited to meet you. And if you've seen me before, I'm going to be kind of leading you through the connections today. So any kind of questions or anything like that, please do forward them to me or to Natalie or Juliana, and we'll be happy to answer them for you. So I'm going to just pass it off to Juliana to introduce herself. And I do have a very exciting slide to introduce her as a program manager. So take it away, Juliana.
Thank you, Nim. I don't feel the pressure at all now. So thank you, everyone. It's really nice to be here as the higher ed program manager, and I'm really excited to continue working with you and doing everything we can to spread green chemistry and to talk about that in advance. So thank you for the Beyond Benign team and all of you for bearing with me, and I'm excited to be here. So thank you.
Hooray, perfect. I did want to just give a really quick shout out to our sponsors for today. So the Green Chemistry Connections are brought to you by the support of Dow, ICL, and 3M. So thank you very much. And if you are interested in sponsoring us, please do reach out to us for those opportunities. And so we do have like a stacked connections today with some really, really great speakers. So before we get into that, I quickly wanted to actually just acknowledge the land that we operate. And for years, it has been the traditional land of the Pawtucket and Massachusetts nations. And at Beyond Benign, we do acknowledge the painful history of genocide, colonialism, and forced removal from this territory. And we also acknowledge that further education is needed on our part to learn the full history of the land we occupy and all the Indigenous peoples it belongs to. And presently, we acknowledge that this meeting place is still home to many Indigenous nations across Turtle Island, and we honor, respect, and celebrate the diversity of peoples that are connected to this land. And because this is a virtual meeting today, we wanted to acknowledge that in this virtual space, us and you as our attendees are occupying unceded land and territories belonging to Indigenous nations across the world. And in terms of what we're doing on our part, we're committing to educating ourselves, to supporting Indigenous communities, and to decolonizing our organization practices, programs, and activities. And as our attendees today, we do encourage you to do the same. So if you are curious about how we constructed this land acknowledgement, please do follow the link at the bottom of the slide there, and you can take a look at the resources that we used. And these slides will be made available after the presentation for you as well. I did want to quickly just mention also, you might see that some of us have our pronouns in our Zoom names. And these are just used to help identify ourselves and then help other people refer to us in the way that we want to be referred to. So it is important to use the ones that others want us to use. You can see a mixture of different pronouns on the screen there. I'm an example of somebody who uses mixed pronouns, so I like to be referred to using she, her, and they, them pronouns. And there's just some language here to kind of ask for other people's pronouns or to describe your own. And there are some links at the bottom of the slide there that we use to kind of construct this slide and to talk a little bit more about gender identity and expression. So please feel free to take a look at those things. If you would like to put your pronouns into your Zoom display name, You can hover over your picture and then click the 3 dots that are in the top right-hand corner. The drop-down menu right at the bottom, there's the command to rename yourself, and then you can just type in your own pronouns into your Zoom name. So we do encourage you to do that if you are comfortable, and that's a way to kind of just do that quickly for this meeting today. The last thing I wanted to mention is just that there will be a transcript of the meeting. And if you would like to enable subtitles for the meeting, you can go to the bottom of your Zoom screen. There's an icon there with the letters CC, live transcript. And if you click that, then live subtitles should be auto-generated for you during the meeting. And the transcript will be made available afterwards. And then lastly, the code of conduct that you are all agreeing to by attending the meeting today. Please do keep in mind in the breakout rooms that everyone should get a chance to speak and to kind of participate in the conversation. So let's be mindful of time and space for everyone here today. One of the things I wanted to kind of talk about, which is related to our Minority Serving Institution Initiative, which is dedicated support that Beyond Benign is providing through our Green Chemistry Commitment Program to minority serving institutions. Are kind of, you can see the bullet points there for kind of this dedicated support that we are offering. I wanted to talk a little bit about bullet point 3, engaging with green chemistry student leaders, and not just student leaders, but also just leaders in the community through some funding opportunities that we do have. So Beyond Benign has 2 grants that are currently available for you to apply for. The first one is the Green Chemistry Education Challenge Awards, and that's sponsored by Dow. And all green chemistry commitment signers are eligible and encouraged to apply for this grant. There's up to 4 that are being sponsored. And the application is centered around advancing green chemistry education in higher ed. And so this grant is open to faculty, students, and staff. And so please, you can actually apply if you're cross-department as well, but make sure that your application includes at least 1 chemistry department faculty member. You can submit your application prior to signing the commitment, but you have to have signed the commitment by December 15th, 2022 to be kind of eligible for this grant. And that is actually the deadline for this grant too. So December 15th, 2022, at the end of the day, that should say 11:59 p.m. PT, sorry, not ET, but there's also a link there that describes the application process and where to apply for this one. And the second one that I wanted to talk about a little bit further too is specifically geared towards students and specifically for ACS student chapters. So if your ACS student chapter is doing green chemistry work and you're working towards maybe applying for an ACS Green Chemistry Student Chapter Award, we want to give you funding to be able to run the events and all the activities that you need to do in order to become eligible for that recognition from the ACS. And so we are providing honorariums for up to 10 ACS student chapters that are doing those green chemistry events and working towards that Green Chemistry Student Chapter Award. And so this funding is really to help you, again, run those events, get those things done that you need to do as a student group. We recognize that student groups don't often have a lot of money, so that's why we're trying to support them here. So, and preference will be given to student groups that are from minority serving institutions or who work with minority communities or whose members comprise minority communities. And I do have a presentation that details the grant and the application process, so you can follow that link to watch it there. And then there's also the link there for the application. So please do reach out to myself or to Natalie for any questions you have about these grants. Please do inform your student groups or your local ACS student chapters that they're eligible for this funding. The grant program for the MSI student chapters, you don't have to be a green chemistry commitment signer. So that one's open to any ACS student chapter in the US or international. So please do forward that opportunity around to everyone. And kind of speaking of the green chemistry commitment, we're really, really excited to announce that we have 3 new signers over the last month. So Dillard University from Louisiana, Las Positas College from California, and then Utica University from New York in the US. So please join us in welcoming these 3 signers to the Green Chemistry Commitment Program. We're super excited to have them on board. And then another, just kind of the last thing for the connections today, please do join the conversation online. We are on social media on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You can use these hashtags to kind of engage with the content that's happening today. I don't know if Juliana's live tweeting today. She usually does. Yeah, she is. Okay. And I'm going to actually hand it off to her to talk about her or Natalie, whoever wants to jump in, to talk about something else too, which is a giveaway that higher ed is doing. So
yeah, I'll talk because Natalie, her voice,
go for it.
So yes, hi. So everyone, we're having this Twitter promo. So we are giving away our beautiful solvent magnets who are very useful, especially in the lab. I always check like which was the greener solvent that I can use. So if you have a magnet, please share out your beautiful pictures on Twitter. We have pictures of magnets and dogs and all of the places you can put your magnet in. And also, if you don't have a magnet, we can send you one. So I'm going to put the link here shortly for our Twitter giveaway, and also for our Google form if you want a magnet and want to share it with your department. So yeah, that's what's happening. Thank you.
The magnets are indeed awesome. I'm seeing people kind of putting stuff in the chat about that. I actually have one on my fridge at home. Don't really know how useful it is when I'm cooking in the kitchen, but it is great to kind of look at it. So please do engage with us in that way.